Sho Chuan. I really like you so much, can you be my boyfriend? I went to the gym specifically for you. Worked on my peach butt. And got EBS too. Do you want to see them? I had a cold and went to bed early. So I didn't see it. Early. The next morning. A junior colleague in my department sent me a message. Boss, quick check. The group director. Sue sent the message where she confessed to you. In the company's main group. I woke up early on Sunday morning to see many unread messages from Sue Yashin on WeChat. She's the female director of our company's creative department. I clicked into WeChat. And I was completely stunned. At 11 o'clock last night she sent me a message. Lee Seok-won, I really like you so much. Can you be my boyfriend? I happened to have a bit of a cold yesterday. So I went to bed early. This made me miss out on a huge opportunity. About half an hour later Soo Yushon sent another message. Don't get me wrong. It was my cousin who took my phone and sent it randomly. Manager Lee, please don't misunderstand. Another half hour later she sent me another message. Lee Seok-won, don't tell anyone about this. I'm begging you. I was shocked. The company's beautiful director actually sent me a confession on WeChat. In the middle of the night. Just as I was barely accepting that I wasn't dreaming. Jiang Tao, a junior colleague from my department, sent me a message. Boss, did you see the company's main group? There's some juicy gossip. I was a little confused. How could there be any gossip in the company's main group? I clicked in and scrolled up. Good heavens, just good heavens. I went to bed too early. And missed such a grand drama of the year. Soo Yushon didn't get my response to her confession last night. I don't know if she was stimulated or drank too much. But she actually spilled the beans. In the company group. She even posted a screenshot of her unanswered confession in the group. Now everyone in the company knows she was rejected. Soo Yushon has a powerful background. The company is owned by her family. And her brother is the general manager. People don't dare to talk nonsense in the company group. However, in various small groups and gaming groups, people are already chatting like crazy. Who would have thought? Even a goddess like Director Sue gets rejected. She was rejected. And I was rejected too. So it means I'm at the same level as Director Sue. Some people are watching the phone. And some people are looking at themselves in the mirror. Fortunately, after looking around, I found that no one noticed. I was also one of the parties involved. Because she sent the message to my private WeChat. At work. I usually use my work WeChat. And Soo Yushon didn't save my name but saved me as Chuan Bao, however, just to be safe. I changed my profile picture on my private WeChat. First, I sent a message to Soo Yu. Sean. Wanted to ask what was going on. Turns out I've been deleted. Fine. Is that how you want to play? Confessing to me the night before. And deleting me this morning. A little while later, Soo Yushon sent a message in the company group. Apologizing to everyone. Saying that she drank too much last night. And sent the wrong message. President Sue, who was Soo Yushon's own brother, symbolically criticized her. A few words in the group and the matter passed. I also thought the matter would just pass like that. But I didn't expect Soo Yushon to post a status on her. Moments right after. For the sake of loving you, I don't hesitate to hurt myself. I'd better delete you. That way I won't be hurt by you anymore. This was posted on her private WeChat. And I don't know who in the company saw it. And immediately took a screenshot. Soon, it spread all over the company in various small groups. If she gets upset and tells President Sue about this, wouldn't I be out of a job? After a long discussion, the matter finally subsided. If things continued like this, it wouldn't be long before everyone forgot about it. Then, everything would return to normal. But tomorrow is Monday. And today I have to attend a seminar on a new project. With Sue Yushan, damn it. How am I supposed to face her at this critical juncture? This is so awkward. Okay, I went to the company feeling uneasy on the way. I had already planned to avoid Sue Yushan as much as possible today. Try not to run into her. And if I do, don't look at her or talk to her, so as to not cause any trouble. Thinking about this morning, I left home late, which caused me to arrive at the company almost at the last minute. As soon as I got downstairs, I rushed to the elevator waiting for it to come down. At that moment, I heard the hurried sound of high heels on the floor. From the right, I turned around and just saw a blonde beauty wearing sunglasses walk to my side. Oh no, what bad luck. It was actually Sue Yushan. It's like what you fear most is what will come to pass. She was also stunned when she saw me. I had originally decided to avoid her today, but I ran into her before even entering the company. I had no choice but to pretend to be calm and greet her. Director Sue, good morning. She also came back to her senses and hurriedly adjusted her sunglasses. Then she snorted coldly at me and walked into the elevator. I gave an awkward smile. And in order not to be late, I had no choice but to bite the bullet and also step into the elevator. The few dozen seconds of the elevator ride felt very long, like being in a battlefield for hundreds of years. With a ding, the elevator finally reached the company floor. I immediately rushed out of the elevator, thinking of quickly escaping Sue Yushan's side. Unexpectedly, Sue Yushan was also in a hurry to get out of the elevator, and we bumped into each other. This was even more awkward. After being stunned for a moment, I quickly apologized to her. Sorry, Director Sue. Please go first. I smiled and gestured for her to go ahead. She pretended to be calm and said before walking out quickly. Looking at her fleeing figure, I smiled helplessly. So she was also avoiding me. No, sister, I didn't say I wanted to reject you. I just fell asleep and didn't have time to reply to you. After returning to the office, it took me a long time to temporarily forget about this and get back to work. But after finishing my work, the moment I had free time, I would think of Sue Yushan again. After thinking it over, I decided to talk to her and clear things up. I went to the door of Sue Yushan's office, but heard someone talking to her inside. Oh my little darling. You made a joke by posting your failed confession in the company group last night. Now you're wearing sunglasses to work. What are your colleagues going to think? As if you haven't caused enough trouble for me. Judging by the voice, it must be President Sue. Sue Yushan said, somewhat aggrieved. I can't help it. I cried all night last night. My eyes are all swollen. If I don't wear sunglasses, how can I face people? President Sue couldn't help but laugh. It's just a failed confession. Is there a need to cry like this? Being mocked by her own brother. Sue Yushan directly exploded. Yes, there is. Sue Jean Song, you are not allowed to laugh at me. It's already embarrassing enough to have a failed confession. And then I ran into him in the elevator this morning. I was so embarrassed. What should I do? Well, there was a suppressed laugh from President Sue inside. Then came a scream. Ah, don't hit me. Don't hit me, I don't want to laugh either. But I really can't hold it in. Hearing this outside the door, I almost couldn't hold back either. Seeing the situation, I quickly slipped away, thinking of Su Yushan, holding her phone in the middle of the night, crying and looking at the chat history. I felt it was so interesting. I didn't expect the usually so cool director Su to have times when she cries. Thinking about it, it feels so cute. She must have used concealer to cover up her swollen eyes. However, upon closer inspection, I could still see that her eyes were a bit swollen. She also deliberately avoided making eye contact with me. And even when she accidentally did, she would quickly look away. She's in really bad shape right now. And the seminar ended quickly, after just going through the motions. The other colleagues aren't very enthusiastic about work either, but they're very gossipy about Su Yushan's love life. As soon as the meeting ended, an older colleague couldn't help but gossip to Su Yushan. Director Su, didn't you sleep well last night? With her leading the charge, others followed Su. Yes. Director Su, who was a blind idiot who dared to reject you. He's really blind. It's his good fortune that our director Su took a liking to him. He really doesn't know what's good for him. Yeah, what was he thinking? Did his brain short-circuit? I packed up my things, getting ready to leave. Suddenly, upon hearing their words, I was truly startled by these gossipy colleagues. I couldn't help but scream inwardly. What's it to you? Mind your own business. Su Yushan subconsciously glanced at me, but quickly averted her gaze, saying with a resentful look, how would I know what he's thinking? Maybe he just doesn't like me. Looking at her wronged expression, I felt like she might burst into tears at any moment. My scalp was tingling, and I wanted to quickly leave this place of gossip, the conference room. But I didn't dare to make any sudden movements. I was afraid that my actions would be unreasonable and would stimulate Su Yushan's sensitive nerves. The others started chiming in with their opinions. An older colleague said, I think he probably feels like he's not good enough for Director Su. That's why he doesn't dare to accept her. Su Yushan was somewhat doubtful. Really, that can't be right. Another older colleague said very confidently. No. Director Su, I think he's playing hard to get. Trying to pique your interest. Su Yushan quickly retorted. No, he's not that kind of person. You can't judge a book by its cover. Director Su. Men are all bad. A girl added, that's not true. He's a really nice person. Every time they said something bad about me, Su Yushan would retort back, staunchly defending me. I even felt a bit ashamed listening to it. The others all looked at her helplessly. Director Su, you're just too love-struck. That's why you're being manipulated by him. Exactly. He hasn't even agreed to be with you. Yet you're defending him like this. Director Su. I'm so moved I could cry. You're heartbroken. Yet you're still defending that John. I admit I'm jealous. Why isn't there a girl like the director who likes me? Listening to all the chatter, I shook my head with a wry smile. At this moment, the older colleague who started the whole thing suddenly called me out. Manager Lee, I saw you shaking your head. What does that mean? Do you have any brilliant insights? I looked at her. Then at Su Yushan. Her eyes flashed with a hint of panic, and her expression became somewhat nervous. I hesitated for a moment, seeing everyone looking at me, waiting for me to speak. So I could only vaguely say, maybe he fell asleep, and didn't have time to reply to Director Su. As soon as these words came out, Everyone fell silent for a moment. Then they erupted with a very intense reaction. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Judging by the chat screenshots. The director sent a message to that guy at 11 p.m. last night. Exactly. Young people in the city these days. Who goes to sleep so early? Exactly. Besides, even if he fell asleep last night, did he reply when he saw the message this morning? When he woke up. I was dumbfounded and didn't know whether to laugh or cry upon hearing this. The truth was by pure coincidence. I had caught a cold the day before yesterday. So I went to sleep a bit earlier. And when I woke up in the morning and was about to reply to Su Yuzhan's message, I realized that she had already deleted me. Everyone didn't believe this explanation. Only Su Yushan looked surprised, staring at me with a hopeful expression. Is that really the case? Of course it's true. I am the person involved. I shouted internally. But on the surface I didn't dare to answer recklessly. So I could only continue to speak vaguely. There should be a possibility of that, right? The others, seeing Su Yushan's reaction, exclaimed in surprise. Help, Director Su. You need to wake up. You even believe Manager Li's casual remarks. It's over. Our goddess director has completely fallen for him. Who is it? Who is it? He should die. The older colleague from before said, with a serious look. Director Su, have you already deleted him? Why don't you add him back right now? What if, as Manager Li said, he just fell asleep last night and didn't have time to reply to you? I felt a little flustered and clutched my phone tightly. Fortunately, Su Yushan didn't agree with her. Let's deal with that later. It's work time now. The older colleague looked disappointed and said, awkwardly, you're right. It's best to call him and ask him directly, face to face. I was already sweating profusely. Fortunately, their gossip conference finally came to an end. I quickly picked up my documents and hurried out of the conference room. Back at my desk, I quickly opened my thermos cup, took a few sips of goji berry tea, and calmed myself down. Lise Chuang, don't overthink it. Focus on your work first. I gave myself this mental suggestion several times before immersing myself in my work. Time flew by quickly. And before I knew it, it was lunchtime. I worked for a little while longer before finishing up my work. I got up, about to head to the cafeteria for lunch. At this moment, Su Yushan walked over, clicking her high heels. She looked at me, then lowered her head, pursing her lips. Were you really asleep last night? I was about to speak, but she added, don't misunderstand. I'm just asking if it wasn't because you were asleep, but just because you didn't want to reply to me. It's fine too. Also, last night, my cousin did indeed take my phone and send random messages. Su Yushan didn't know that I had already accidentally overheard her conversation with her brother, Director Su, in the office. Now looking at how she wanted to ask a question, but tried to cover it up and conceal it. It was really interesting. I deliberately teased her. Oh, so it was just a random message. Then it doesn't matter whether I reply or not. She instantly panicked, looking at me and shaking her head repeatedly, saying anxiously, no, it wasn't random. Aya, that's not right. It was random. Haha. She was flustered, and her small face gradually flushed red with embarrassment. I have a bit of a cold. It's nothing serious, I'll just go to bed early. I originally wanted to go to Su Yushan's office this morning to talk things out with her. I didn't expect President Su to be there. And since her brother was also there, I could only retreat for now. Hearing this, Su Yushan's eyes lit up with surprise. And she couldn't help but smile. I knew it just as Su Yushan was about to say something. Her brother, President Xu Jinsong, arrived. Su Yushan, what are you doing? President Xu came over and pulled her away. I'm really done with you. It's not enough that you were rejected. After confessing your feelings over WeChat, now you're coming to find him again. This is the company. There are so many eyes around. If people find out, wouldn't you be ashamed? Su Yushan was scolded by her older brother. But she didn't take it to heart and laughed. He didn't reject me. He already explained it to me. He was just asleep that day. I just scared myself. I didn't wait for his reply and then I deleted him. As she spoke, she sighed again. I'm so regretful now. It was so hard to get his personal WeChat. Now that I deleted it, how am I supposed to add him back? Watching her being pulled away by her brother, I shook my head, both amused and helpless. However, what she muttered made me look forward to it. These past few days, I'd occasionally think about when she would come to add my WeChat again. And how would she ask for my WeChat? I waited for several days. But she didn't seem to take any action. And I felt helpless. Could it be that she had changed her mind? Or that President Su wasn't allowing her to contact me? Just when I was confused about this, something happened with a new project at the company. This project was for shooting an advertising video for a large wedding photography company. But our advertising plan and the execution results were not satisfactory to the client. This plan is a load of garbage. The 2 wedding dress models you hired are also very unprofessional and don't cooperate at all. President Su was furious and directly scolded the creative department and the execution department, even though the creative director was his sister, Su Yushan. She was also harshly criticized. President Su told her to quickly apologize to the client and find a way to salvage the situation. After Su Yushan sincerely apologized to the client with us, she managed to get a chance to redo it. The client, President Jean, asked, Director Su, are you married? Su Yushan shook her head. President Jean laughed. You haven't been married. So how can you understand the happy feeling of taking wedding photos? In the end, President Jean required Su Yushan to personally experience their company's wedding photography service. And Su Yushan brought me along as well. The reason being that she, as the creative director, needed to experience it. And I, as the execution supervisor, also needed to experience it. Only in this way could we come up with ideas that satisfy the client and create a product that the client would be satisfied with. I had no objections, so I agreed. In reality, I didn't dare to have objections. If this deal fell through, our 2 departments' bonuses for the year would be gone. After finalizing the plan, we each sent a few people from our 2 departments to follow President Jin's car. When we arrived at our first destination, it was already evening. President Jin suggested treating us to dinner. When I arrived at the private room, I found that only the seat next to Su Yushan was still empty. I paused for a moment and then sat down. As soon as I sat down, President Jean teased U.S. Director Su Supervisor Lee. I think you two, sitting together, are a much better match than the 2 models you hired before. Really, Su? Yushan widened her eyes in surprise. And then glanced at me. Seeing that I didn't refute President Jin's words. The smile on her lips became even more obvious. Noticing that many eyes were on us, I glanced back. I saw that my colleagues all had a watching the gossip expression. Especially my subordinate Jiang Tao. He was smiling mischievously. And when he saw me looking at him, he even gave me a thumbs up. Having spent the whole day on the road, I was already starving. So I started focusing on eating my meal. Su Yushan didn't eat much. Besides occasionally responding to President Jin, she was mostly giving me food. When I asked her why she wasn't eating herself, she said she was dieting. And told me to eat on her behalf. Knowing she had feelings for me, I didn't think too much about it. She gave it to me and I ate it. When I was almost finished eating, Su Yushan's expression suddenly became tense. She frowned and kept sending signals to Jiang Tao. Jiang Tao didn't notice at first. But when he did, he quickly stood up. In the following days, we'll be working together to make work and communication easier. How about we add each other on WeChat? Su Yushan breathed a sigh of relief and immediately took out her phone, placing it on the table very close to me. I looked at her, then at Jiang Tao. So that's what it was. She hadn't dared to add my WeChat again all these days. She was waiting for this. She had even gone to the trouble of buying off my subordinate, Jiang Tao, to cooperate with her. I won't take the initiative to ask to add her. I'll see if she gets anxious. After everyone from Director Jin's side added me on WeChat, Su Yushan got a little restless. She stared at the WeChat interface on my phone and said through gritted teeth, "Manager Li, can I add you back on your personal WeChat?" I stared into her eyes for a good while. And only after seeing her lower her head shyly did I laugh and say, "Sure." She excitedly looked up, her eyes revealing unconcealed joy. "But you have to be honest with me. When you borrowed my phone to make a call before, was it really to Director Su at that time?" She had just started working at the company, and she rode to work in a car with her older brother, Director Su. One day, when I was waiting for the elevator, she suddenly anxiously said to me, "My phone and bag are in my brother's car. Can I borrow your phone to call him?" It was a small favor, so I naturally agreed. Not long after, she added my personal WeChat. Of course it was, she said very seriously. But then, she added in a guilty, "It's just that later I had him send me your phone number." I nodded and asked with a smile, "Then why did you delete me last Sunday?" Her face flushed slightly and she lowered her head. "I saw you didn't say anything. And I thought you were feeling uncomfortable. So I didn't reply, making you so embarrassed. Do you feel awkward?" Su Yushan said with a wry smile. "Awkwardness is there. But more than that, I was sad. I thought that you're not saying anything meant you were rejecting me." As she spoke, she looked at me with a resentful gaze. Damn. I didn't dare look her directly in the eyes. So I took out my phone and held the QR code out in front of her. After she scanned it, she was a little surprised. "Hi, you changed your profile picture." I just smiled and didn't say anything. "Of course it was because you, Director Su, got drunk and sent a screenshot of our WeChat chat into the company group." She had saved my contact as Chuan Bao and pinned me to the top of the list. After the dinner, I went back to my hotel room. Just after I came out from my shower, I heard a knock on the door. When I opened the door, it was Jiang Tao, that kid. He had a mysterious, mischievous grin on his face, looking very excited. "Boss, are you together with Director Su?" "Oh, I was dumbfounded by his question. What are you talking about? Oh ho, you're not admitting it. During dinner just now, Director Su kept picking food for you. Jiang Tao pointed at me and laughed. Also, it was Director Su who told me to have everyone add each other on WeChat beforehand. I was wondering if it was just to add Director Jean and the others. Wouldn't it have been easier for her to say so directly? Why did she have me do it? Now, it seems she went to all that trouble just to add you. Why would she do that? I thought about it. And there's only one possibility. The person Director Su confessed to. It's you, right? I looked at Jiang Tao in shock. Good grief. This kid's abduction skills are pretty strong. Jiang Tao then added. She confessed to you. Didn't get a response and thought you rejected her. So she deleted you. Now she's regretting it. Wants to add you back. But is too embarrassed to ask you directly. So, she pulled this indirect method of getting your WeChat. After listening, I couldn't help but applaud. Totally correct. You should become a detective. Jiang Tao smiled smugly. Actually, it wasn't that difficult. When she sent that screenshot of your chat to the company group, I already suspected it was you. Don't forget, I added your personal WeChat back in school. The profile picture in Director Su's chat screenshot was exactly the same as yours. And since it was someone in the company, it was pretty much locked down to you. It was me who personally went back to my alma mater for recruitment and brought him into the company. We added each other on WeChat back then. After chatting for a while, he asked me with a curious look. Boss, I can't understand, why did you reject Director Su? I explained with a smile. I didn't reject her. I just fell asleep and didn't have time to reply. Wow, is that really it? So outrageous. Jiang Tao was shocked. Then he smiled mysteriously. Hey. I also found Director Su's secret Weibo account. Do you want to see it, Jiang Tao? Are you trying to test the cadres with this? Who could resist this after all? Gossip is one of human nature's instincts. I still couldn't help but ask him to send me Su Yashin's Weibo. I clicked in and saw the latest post, which the story begins anew. Happy the one before that was. The story ended before it even began. And the one before that was from last Saturday. Confessing if successful, I'll change my name to Iron Tree and Bloom. If unsuccessful, I'll change my name to Stun Deer. I glanced at her nickname. Stun Deer, Hidden Iron Tree. I scrolled back. And a lot of content from the past year was about me. For example, the earliest one was he with a little trick. I got his phone number. Thanks to my bro for a tiny bit of help. In between were some posts that went with her fluctuating moods. There were also some photos she had secretly taken of me. But she blurred my face like writing a diary. After reading all of that, I naturally felt a little smug. After all, the goddess director of the company's workers has actually been secretly in love with me. For so long, however, after these past few days, her goddess image has completely collapsed in my heart. I exited Weibo, opened WeChat, found Su Yushan's moments and clicked to take a look. Not bad. There are a lot of her selfies, very pleasing to the eye. I scrolled for a while, not knowing how long it had been. I fell asleep unconsciously. The next day I woke up, went to the restaurant for breakfast, and found that Jiang Chao couldn't help but smile mischievously when he saw me. I was too lazy to pay him any attention. After sitting down, I drank a glass of milk and then opened WeChat. There was a little red on moments. I clicked on it and found out something bad had happened. Last night. I don't know when. I'd like to post on Su Yushan's moments. It was her post from a few days ago of her doing yoga. And she even asked me, "Do you like it?" A little awkward. How am I going to explain this to her? Luckily, I liked it with my personal account. So only Su Yushan herself and that kid Jiangtao should know about it. Speak of the devil. Jiang Tao, holding a plate, came over and sat down. Nudging me, boss, were Director Su's moments. Good-looking, looking at his mischievous grin. I couldn't help but want to punch him, if you ask me. You and Director Su are really interesting. Don't get together too quickly, though. I want to watch more of your ambiguous interactions. Good-looking, love to watch. To this I only gave him one. Get lost. Just then Su Yushan, all dressed and made up, came to the restaurant. As soon as she saw me, the corners of her mouth turned up, and her cheeks were slightly flushed. I felt my own face start to slowly heat up as well. To avoid embarrassment, I turned my head and didn't look at her. But then I saw Zhang Tao again, eating his melon and watching the show speechless. What makes me even more uncomfortable is that I have to take wedding photos with Siu Sean today. There's really no way to avoid it. After the shoot, they wanted to take a group photo with me. I had just changed into my suit and finished combing my hair when I heard a gasp of surprise. I turned around and saw Su Yushan slowly walking towards me, wearing a white, leg-revealing wedding dress and white high heels. Her long legs stunned me. I couldn't even help but imagine what Su Yushan would look like in yoga pants. Then I suddenly remembered. I had liked a post of hers from last night, where she was doing yoga. It was a little awkward. Plus Su Yushan looked so ethereal today that I started to feel inexplicably nervous around her. My smile became stiff. The photos that came out weren't very good. President Su lost his temper right away. "Hey Supervisor Lee, what's with you? Can you smile like Director Su?" A little more happily. The other colleagues also looked at me with concern. I took a deep breath. For this project and everyone's year-end bonus, I'll do my best. After that, I let go and smiled, hugging and embracing Su Yushan, striking various poses for the photographer. This time, Manager Jean nodded in satisfaction. However, just when I thought it was over, Manager Jean had someone bring over a bowl of fruit. There were bananas, apples, oranges, and so on. He said he wanted to shoot a round of fruit-themed wedding photos. He told us to use our imagination. Su Yushan and I were both dumbfounded. Was that in the proposal? I asked her. Su Yuzhen shook her head blankly. Then Jiang Tao, the kid, suddenly jumped out. "Boss Director Su, this was my idea, isn't it great?" "Oh, Jean Tao, you're a real talent." "Damn it." Su Yushan and I exchanged glances, both reading the desire to tear Jean Tao apart in each other's eyes. But who could blame us when President Su loved the idea? Since the client, our golden sponsor, wanted to see it, we could only bite the bullet and go along with it. What followed was a joyous but embarrassing time. We held the bananas and posed for a while, then peeled them, feeding each other with banana-covered faces. In the end, the scene was filled with laughter. After half a day of messing around, we finally finished this scene. I sat down on a chair to rest. Su Yushan also sat next to me. She hesitated for a moment and whispered, "That like from last night, was it an accidental tap?" "Oh." She finally couldn't help but ask me. "Huh?" I thought for a moment and replied, It was indeed an accidental tap. But it was definitely worth a like. Her eyes lit up. Feigning composure. Why? Because it looked good. I liked it. Su Yushan was stunned. I continued. I really like that photo. Your long legs and yoga pants, they look really good. Su Yushan waited for a moment. And seeing that I had nothing else to say, couldn't help but ask. Then do you like the person in the photo? After speaking, she realized she had said the wrong thing. And quickly covered her mouth. Her face soon turned red. I thought for a moment and smiled. That depends on how she behaves. But someone doesn't want me to escape the single life too quickly. Su Yushan frowned. Who? I didn't sell out Jiang Tao. Only saying that it was a particularly gossipy, annoying guy. But with my words, Su Yushan became even bolder in pursuing me. Not only did she send me all sorts of gifts, she also wanted to cook for me. She said that if you want to capture a man's heart, you must first capture his stomach. As a result, a few days later, I had a bad stomach. As the filming progressed, some of our wedding photos and behind-the-scenes videos began to circulate within the company. Naturally, the gossip mongers started discussing. Could it be that the person Director Su confessed to before is Supervisor Lee? Impossible, right? They seem to have a good relationship. If it was Supervisor Lee, why would he have rejected Director Su before? It's also possible that Director Su got over that jerk and now realizes Supervisor Lee is the right match. That makes sense. Honestly, Supervisor Lee and Director Su's wedding photos look so happy. It doesn't look like acting. Plus 1-inch Jiang Tao also sent me a message. I'm the only one who knows about you two. It's so hard to keep it a secret. I really want to reveal you two. When are you guys going to get together? I replied to Jiang Chao, weren't you the one who told me not to get together with her too soon, Jean Tao? Now I can't wait. But now the whole company is guessing who it was that rejected Director Su's confession before. I think you won't be able to hide it for much longer. To be honest, going on a company-paid trip for half a month made me quite happy. The last shoot required us to make vows to each other, like at a wedding. This segment would be the highlight of the promotional video. President Jean and Su Yushan were sitting to the side, watching the set being arranged. After changing in the dressing room, I went over just as I got behind them. Before I could say hello, I heard President Jean ask Lily Yoshin, "This trip is almost over. Why haven't you won over managerially yet?" Little Yushin, "This trip is almost over. Why haven't you won over managerially yet?" Su Yushan blushed slightly. He said he wants to see my performance. It should be soon. Right, soon. How soon is soon, you child? You're really not living up to expectations. Let Uncle Jean help you. President Jean stood up helplessly and walked away. During the shoot, I kept wondering what President Jin's plan was. So I couldn't get into the right state of mind. We did many takes and none of us felt satisfied. When we shot again, Su Yushan began her vows once more. However, this time she looked much more serious, her gaze almost piercing. The first sentence she said was different from the previous lines. She wasn't just reciting lines, but was expressing her true feelings as she spoke. She even cried. "Li Xiuquan, I don't want to wait any longer. I want to spend the rest of my life with you." I was also moved by her. A little choked up. And my eyes welled up. I took a step forward. Wanted to pull her into my arms but instead, she grabbed my neck and kissed me. Damn it. I was actually touched by her. This was completely off script. The photographer and President Jean didn't call cut either. After the kiss I was a little dazed. I looked around to see everyone wearing an anti-smile. After the trip, President Jean was very satisfied, even saying there was no need to reshoot. They would use our photos and videos as material for the promotional video. The finished product was indeed very effective. The project was successfully completed, and the year-end bonuses for both departments were secured. President Sue was very happy and treated everyone to a meal. Everyone kept toasting me and Sue Yushin. Soon my head was starting to spin. As for Sue Yushin, she had already run out to throw up. I asked a female colleague to check on her in the restroom, but she wasn't there. I was anxious and looked for her everywhere, but I couldn't find her. Reluctantly, I went back to the private room. I found Sue Yushin grabbing President Sue's neck. Tell me, was it you who told Lee Seok-won not to be with me so soon? President Sue was completely bewildered. I didn't. If it wasn't you, then who was it? Sue Yushin, in a drunken rage, was about to hit someone. I quickly pulled her away. When she saw me, her expression instantly changed. Oh, I remember. It was you who talked nonsense to Lee Seok-won. Then she slapped me. So Yushin, look again, who am I? I shook her shoulders hard, trying to get her to sober up. Her eyes were blurry. She blinked and looked at me again, and then hugged me, crying. Why Lee Seok-won? They're all bad people. They don't want us to be together. I had no choice but to comfort her. There are no bad people. No one is stopping us from being together. The others started to cheer. Oh, the truth has come out. The mysterious man director Sue confessed to before was indeed managerial. Is there any need to say that? Anyone with eyes can see it. It can be said that lovers finally became family. Some people were taking out their phones. I wasn't sure if they were recording or taking pictures. President Sue smiled awkwardly and patted my shoulder. You should take my sister upstairs to her room to rest. But when I tried to leave, after getting her to her hotel room, she grabbed my hand, not letting me go. Lee Seok-won, don't tell anyone about this. I was exhausted and my head was spinning. I couldn't be bothered to argue, so I let her do as she pleased. The next day, I woke up to find myself in an unfamiliar place. I looked around and realized I was in a hotel room. As I was trying to recall what happened last night, a yawn came from beside me. I was startled and peered over to see Sue Yushin lying on the floor. She opened her eyes, turned to look at me, paused for a moment, and then let out a scream. Ah! After a bit of reminiscing and explaining, I finally managed to piece together her actions from the night before. First, she got drunk and caused a scene in the private room. Then I took her back to her room, where she clung on to me, not wanting me to leave. And then at some point in the night, she had rolled off the bed. After listening to the story, Sue Yushin's face turned red as she covered her face and said, I'm done for. This is so embarrassing. I originally just wanted to get a little tipsy so I could confess my feelings to you. But I didn't expect that after drinking too much, I'd completely lose control. I touched my face and smiled helplessly. But you already confessed, didn't you? But you didn't agree to it. Sue Yushin pouted in grievance. I already took wedding photos with you. What else do you need me to agree to? I chuckled and pinched her cheek. I will only ever take wedding photos with one person. In my life.